Welcome back, nerds. We are your hosts. I am Jake.
And I'm Chad. And this week we are sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
We are also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's.
So this week we will be continuing our dive into the not old, but like throwback Spider-Man movies. So this week we'll be talking about The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, both directed by Mark Webb. We're doing this in anticipation for the upcoming the upcoming the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home film, and hoping that we get that trailer soon. So we want to get you guys caught up before that. So yeah.
So I guess let's get into it.
Yeah.
This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Nerd. Yep. Welcome back, guys, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd.
Dude. How was your week?
Well, it was pretty good, considering the fact that I'm in Ohio, and it rained multiple times with very aggressive storms.
I'm so jealous. It has not fucking stormed here. It's making me so mad. I keep looking at the weather, and it's like storms, blah blah blah. Even the news was like, we're gonna have some severe storms, so like, don't travel and blah blah blah. It didn't even rain a fucking drop, bro.
Well, we get a lot of rain because I'm close to Cleveland, so we get a lot of moisture from the Great Lake. Not the greatest lake, known as Superior, but one of them. I think it's Erie. I don't care. It's not Superior, so I don't need to know this. But I did make some personal purchases for my nerd collection, and just for fun. Like, I bought an electric piano because I want to start playing music again. But I got Jonathan.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you just like turn it upside down and like sit on it, or?
Only if you're worthy.
You just lift it with your anus?
Well, I mean, how else am I going to fly with it,
Your hammer pulled you off?
It sounds like you had a deep and almost intimate relationship with that hammer, and losing it caused you a lot of great pain.
Emphasis on the deep.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Well, I mean, I guess, how was your week, Jake? I was excited about this, and you...
I'm sorry, dude. I was fucking with you.
No.
My week has been really good. I got a new tattoo for my dog. I don't know if I can do it real well here, but it's not finished. I have to get it colored, but yeah, it's pretty badass. The guys over at Rose of No Man's Land in Woodbury, Minnesota, they do an awesome job over there, and yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
So you're saying Minnesota has better tattooers than suburbs of Cleveland? I feel bad because he has, we gave him merch and it's plastered on his shit. And when we originally talked about him, we were like, he
go
did.
See him.
And then our tattoos did not heal well.
I'm pretty sure he's good for Ohio, though. So I think, like,
well,
if you're in Ohio...
Dude, okay, first off, look at me. If you guys are not on YouTube, check out our Instagram. There's got to be a picture of me somewhere. Look at me. I'm like an Ohio 8. In Minnesota, I'm like a soft 4.
Mm.
With that being said, no.
Also, I went to this. There's a brewery by my house called Indeed Brewing, and we went there today for.
I didn't.
Me and the girlfriend went there, and for some vegan junk food, and it was. I wish I could just show a picture of it on here somehow, but But it was
If
from.
you send it to me, I'll upload it
Oh, okay, yeah.
into the video. Yeah.
It's called Future Food. They made these like chicken. I mean, it's called chicken, but it's spelled differently. It's like a play on words, like because it's like chickpeas in. They make it into like chicken sandwiches.
Oh, is that what they do with vegan food? Weird.
Holy fucking balls, dude! Even if I ate meat, this food was worthy of good.
Dude, well,
I sent you the picture, dude.
I
Did
don't
that shit
eat
not
meat.
look good?
I have stopped eating meat, and that looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
It looked
So
like
good.
an actual like chicken sandwich, and they had, just from what you sent me, like they had like a Nashville hot chicken,
Yeah.
which is
Buffalo Ranch.
that's the one you got, right? Was the Buffalo Ranch?
Oh yeah. I intended it. The sandwiches are so big. I intended on only eating half and having the other half for dinner tonight, and I fucking smashed the whole fucking sandwich, and I was hurting for hours after I ate it.
Well, from
I only
stomach
just
cramps,
recovered.
not from.
Yeah. Took some Midol, and I'm fine now.
Oh. No, it looked good, and I am jealous. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
So this fall, when I am back in Minnesota, we should find out where they are, because we'll have.
I think they do.
We'll have a
food
couple of days.
truck. I assume they do a food truck somewhere around here. I don't know anything about them. This is the first I had heard about them. I will look into it and we'll figure something out. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're obviously Minnesota based, so.
Oh,
yeah.
really? A food truck in the Minneapolis area is Minnesota based?
The Midwest in general. Yeah.
Oh. I'm just fucking with you.
That being said, the only other thing I had to mention was I watched Jungle Cruise with The Rock. I still refuse to call him Dwayne Johnson.
No, it's Dwayne. It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It's Dwayne. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking, Johnson? And Emily Blunt. And
for those of you that just heard slaps and are not watching, it was a people's elbow.
No, it's not. He slapped his nutsack against the microphone.
Yeah, that my microphone is wrapped in cling wrap. That's why it sounded so crisp and clean. It's how you get that salty high tones.
Jesus Christ. The movie was quite entertaining. Very much Pirates of the Caribbean vibe to it, but it was good. Go give it a watch.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Is that what I said?
Not Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're very white.
Well, no, it's the chain of islands is called the Caribbean, but the films and the ride, they say Pirates of the Caribbean. And you're like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's like calling it Tijuana. Like,
yeah, I got you. Tijuana.
Tijuana.
No, this is getting racist.
Were you gonna say Juana?
I was just gonna say it in a very Hispanic accent.
Oh yeah, that's better than what I did, or worse than what I did.
And then we briefly wanted to just touch on this. We don't know much about it, but for any of you who know, Scarlett Johansson got fucking fucked over by Disney on the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus.
To the point where she's suing them.
Yeah.
And even Kevin Feige.
It's Feige.
Fierigi.
Fiage.
No, it's Kevin Feige. Has come out in support of Scarlett Johansson. So basically what it was a lot of her salary for the Black Widow film was based off of a theatrical release. And then COVID hit, so they delayed it. Yeah, fix the hair. Fix the hair.
Talking.
Fix
Keep
the
talking.
hair.
It kept falling in my face.
Yeah, okay. That's what she said. And then, so the Black Widow film, so much of what Scarlett Johansson's salary was based off of was, the theatrical release. Well, Disney decided to co-release it on Disney Plus and in theaters, but she got no money based off of the income earned from sales for the Disney Plus sales. So, I mean, basically they're like, yeah, you're going to get so much based on what we do in the theaters. Well, it's still, COVID is still a thing. So a lot of people, including both of us, opted to watch Black Widow at the home release on Disney Plus, and she's not getting anything from it.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, she was suing them, I was like,
yeah,
what's this about?
Yeah.
It turned out to be way better than what they anticipated, so she wants more money. And then I actually looked a little bit into it. I was like, oh, yeah,
they're screwing her.
They're screwing her.
Yeah.
So that's what we know so far, and we will keep you updated with these quick 3 to 5 minute updates as that progresses.
Sorry. It's very newsroomy of you.
Yeah.
We will keep you updated as this progresses.
And that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Thanks, Bruce Almighty. But obviously we don't know much else about it, so there's nothing else to really talk about. So with that, before we start diving into The Amazing Spider-Man, which, oh my God, I forgot how much I love this movie until I rewatched it this week.
Yeah.
We are going to go to our first sponsor, which is Raise Energy Drinks. It's a fantastic energy drink. 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 crash. But also, they just released some new products. And they now have protein-packed desserts, 2 grams of sugar. They're literally like a coffee mug cake. So you add the powder, you add either water, milk, oat milk, almond milk, whatever. Throw it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then you have a delicious dessert. I haven't tried them yet, but
can we? Is this something we can get to give out with the prizes for the podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we'll do that. And
that was news to me. Sorry.
Yeah, I forgot to mention it to you.
We'll try to get our hands on some of that and give that out.
We'll get some, and also, as you'll hear in this sponsor spot coming up, our promo code does work on those as well.
Nice.
So yeah, take a listen. You'll learn a little bit about some Raise energy drinks, and just remember they now have protein-packed desserts. So it's if you like to work out at night and you don't like to eat anything afterwards, they got you. All right, listen up. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their Refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you. All right, guys. So, like we mentioned at the start of
What?
Jake, what flavor is that freeze pop, alcoholic freeze pop by Truly?
Oh, my Truly freeze
Not
pop?
a sponsor yet.
Yeah. It's strawberry.
Oh.
Oh, were you hoping it was watermelon?
Sugar high. Yes. Yes, I was.
Do you wanna be mine? Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
but yes,
yeah.
we're gonna continue our. Sorry, guys. So we're gonna continue our look back into previous Spider-Man films in this week. We're gonna be talking about the Mark Webb films, The Amazing Spider-Man, both 1 and 2. But we're gonna start with Spider-Man 1, The Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
And
Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, awesome movie.
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary.
He deserves his own.
What's the other guy's name? Iphans?
That plays
is it Reese?
Dr. Connors.
Yeah, is it Reese
I don't
Iphans?
know, but
I
we
think
also
it's
get
Reese.
Sally Mae.
I think it's Reese Iphans. Pretty sure.
Recycles.
Reese.
I'm just kidding.
Iphans.
I'm gonna feel super bad if he ever hears this. He won't, but in case he does, I'm sorry. You play this role perfectly, my guy. But
yeah, we like you said, we get
Sally Mae. Yeah, you okay there?
I felt something crawling on me.
It's just your leg hairs tickling each other.
Yeah.
Just having.
Fuck. Dude, I have killed 3 massive spiders in this house in the past 2 days.
Oh.
I'll only take credit for one of them. Rogie killed the other, and another one drowned in her water.
So she killed 2 of them.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you were an accomplice to one of them because you filled the water dish. But yeah, so I mean, first off, I love these films.
Yeah.
I forgot how much I love them.
Yeah, I think my girlfriend Nicole, you know Nicole, but she watched this one for the she watched these for the first time, and she was like, "These are better than the Tom Holland Spider-Mans," and I can't argue that. I think they're way better. I was super bummed out that this franchise got canceled.
As standalone films, yes, I agree that they're better than the Tom Holland films.
Yeah.
Do I think that Tom Holland plays the best Peter Parker that we've seen? I do. It's up for debate, but I love Tom Holland as Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
I do too. That's the hard part is for me to say I like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man better than Tom Holland.
But
I don't think so.
As the standalone films, non-MCU, these are better.
I like the character development. They spent more time in The Amazing Spider-Man building up Peter Parker's story where and I get where Marvel and Disney decided to not do that with Tom Holland Spider-Man because we've seen this twice already.
We know how.
Yeah. So they were like,
we
we're
know
not gonna
Ben
do
Parker dies.
Yeah. So I get it. But I really in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, they really show you how smart Peter Parker actually is. They really dive into how, like you said earlier when we were talking about this, his angsty teenage vibes.
Battling with the fact that he's a teenager, he's dealing with this emotional stuff and trying to balance it. I think that The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 does it better than what Marvel has done. But that's because Marvel hopped in not with the origin story. I mean, it's kind of an origin, but not quite.
They just kind of were like, hey, Spider-Man's here in Civil War, so...
Yeah, he already has his powers, but he's very young at it. We're going to go from there. Ready, break.
Yeah. And which was a smart move for them.
It was the right way to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it.
We don't need another origin story of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, so this movie, they really go into how smart Peter is. I know we wrote this down probably differently, but
you're fine.
in this, Peter, his dad, and Dr. Connors, who is a scientist, who is also the lizard in the comics,
What?
cartoons, and
No.
movie. He
Spoilers.
Dr. Connors only has one arm, and Dr. Connors is trying to do experiment on cross species genetics. So I already
Isn't that illegal though?
I like started thinking about the joke before I said it, and I just started laughing. Yes, bestiality is illegal, Chad.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But
man.
not in this. They Oscorp must be based in Tijuana.
So they
Sorry, Mom.
John Connors.
Kirk Connors. Wow.
Dun, 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 dun.
I was gonna say, like, what is this?
Holy balls.
There's no fate but what you make for yourself. Ooh.
Dr. Connors.
It's a Terminator reference for you guys that are lame.
Yeah, didn't. Yeah.
Not lame. Sorry. I'm a little feisty, I guess. If you guys haven't seen the Terminator films, yeah, that's what it is.
Maybe we'll get into those in one of these podcasts, but
only if we can not talk about the one that Christian Bale is in.
No, we have to, because then we'll just shit all over it.
We're never gonna do it. Ooh.
Yeah, we're totally gonna do it.
Okay. Coming in 2027.
But anyways, Dr. Connors' life's work is to crossbreed genetics to regrow his arm because he's missing an arm. And this is where I think this movie is super cool, and like they really get into how smart Peter actually is that he fucking figures this guy's life's work out in like a day. I mean, it's called the decay rate algorithm. And yes, he does find, as you mentioned earlier, a part of the algorithm in his dad's like briefcase. But I mean, this is like people who work for like the government, and Peter figured out
the private sector. It's Oscorp, which we actually get like more in depth. Like Oscorp is a big thing in these films, instead of just like I'm a bit of a scientist myself.
Oh yeah,
Willem Dafoe.
I love Willem Dafoe, but yeah. But anyways, yeah. So we just gotta see how smart Peter actually is, and like in the development of like his webbing, they show like a scene where he's actually like making it and stuff like that. He's smart. He's smart.
He's smart. On top of that, I did mention Sally Fields at the beginning of the segment. So we at least get slightly younger Aunt May and Uncle Ben. I mean, still, I love Sally Fields. She's a phenomenal actress. For some reason, she is not proud of having worked on these films, but that's because she's like super dramatic. Which is whatever. I mean, she's entitled to look at her career the only way that she wants to. But Aunt May and Uncle Ben are still AARP carrying card members.
Old as fuck.
I mean, these guys are like, at least like on the verge of retirement instead of
You got to understand, for a high school kid to call his aunt and uncle, which would mean that they're roughly the same age as his parents.
They should be in like their 40s or 50s, like
not 70s.
Yeah.
Like the worst was the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. That lady was like 90.
Yeah, she's at least 103.
It's like,
yeah.
Were your parents like 75 when they had you? Like, what the hell?
Scientifically speaking, that is very rare, and that's probably why he had
George Clooney did it.
Well, I mean, if you look like George Clooney, then fucking do it.
Yeah.
But
was that to George Clooney, or?
I mean, a little. I mean, but also just like a like.
Can we just get a little sense here? Can we make sense a little bit with the age factor of aunt and uncle. I have aunts and uncles, and guess what? I have more aunts and uncles than probably all of our listeners combined.
Except
And
for,
let
you
me
know, like your family that also listens, who have the same
and,
number.
and let me tell you, none of them are fucking 70 years old. They're all appropriately aged.
I, my oldest uncle, I think, just turned 70, but I'm also 30.
Yeah.
And he was
Now,
the oldest sibling.
yeah. Yeah. That's different because we're in our 30s. These are
Yeah.
high school kids.
Not juniors or seniors in high school.
Half our age, yeah.
Ugh.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, moving on.
Um,
I know that you wanted to talk about how much of a smartass Peter is in these movies compared to the other movies, which I agree.
yeah, and like, cause in the comics, like on top of being a genius and kind of an outcast, he's also witty,
Yeah.
and sometimes it gets his ass beat.
Cocky.
Yeah,
Not necessarily cocky, I guess.
yeah, cocky might not be the right word, but
Yeah.
penisy. No, I'm just kidding.
But like the part in the car when he's like stopping the car thief and he's like in the back seat and he's like, "Hey, if you're gonna steal cars, you might not want to dress like a car thief."
And he pulls a knife and he's like, "Oh no, not a small knife. That's my weakness.
My weakness.
My
small
one
knives."
weakness."
I was gonna say like the guy keeps trying to get out of the car and he keeps like webbing the door and shutting it from the back seat.
Yeah.
Like that part was funny, but yeah, that part was hilarious. He's like, "Is that a knife?" Yeah. Oh my god, please don't hurt me. This is my weakness. Small knives. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, he's a smart ass. He's very, very funny. I like it.
But also we get to see like when he first starts to develop his powers. Like when he like it's such a throwaway scene of him like brushing his teeth. Like the first time that his powers are like fully developed, and like he rips off the handle of the sink, he squeezes the toothpaste and just fucking explodes.
He just takes his toothbrush and wipes the toothpaste.
Because he's still a teenager, like he doesn't care about if it's clean, like, and you know, and then he tries to like leave the bathroom and he like stops himself and like delicately like turns it because, as we've seen in the comics, also like Peter Parker is strong. Like literally everything every punch he throws, he is holding back.
He pulls.
Yeah, he pulls his punches because when
he would kill people. Yeah.
I think it's in the Superior Spider-Man when Doc Ock like basically becomes Spider-Man through science and witchcraft. It's not witchcraft. But like he like punches right through a dude. And he's like, "Holy shit. Like this dude never did this to me. Like he could have killed me at any point and he just didn't."
Yeah.
But also we get to see like Peter deal with what it means to be a hero.
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the movie is, do you care if I...
Go for it. No, take it off. That's why I like soft tossed it, you know, like I just lobbed it up on the tee for you just to fucking nail it.
And that's what I'm going to do with it. So there's like a scene where Peter and Dennis Leary, which is Emma Stone's, Gwen Stacy's, Faja,
who is Captain Stacy.
Captain Stacy.
Captain
Peter
of
goes,
the police.
Goes,
Popo.
Peter goes to dinner at
I'm going to keep interrupting. I'm
house.
sorry, keep going.
Just kidding. Peter goes to dinner. I thought you were going to do it again. I was waiting for it. Peter goes to dinner at Gwen's house, and Peter and Captain Stacy kind of get into it a little bit, and Peter's like, "Oh, I think Spider-Man's helping and Spider-Man's doing what maybe the cops can't do." And Captain Stacy's like, "No." He's like, "This guy's going after people who all look the same because his Uncle Ben got killed." And now Peter's like tracking down these people that look like the guy who killed his uncle. He's trying to get revenge. And so Peter thinks he's being a hero, but really he's working on his own agenda. And it isn't until the lizard attacks and Peter has to save like a ton of people on a bridge and ends up saving a little kid on the bridge that he realizes, like, okay, like, I have all of this power.
Yeah, you might say he's got great power.
And maybe a responsibility to use
or
that
like a
power
great
for good.
responsibility,
Yeah, so
they pussy not to wow, I stopped in the middle of that.
Pussyfooted.
Yeah, they pussyfoot around. I didn't mean to just say the word pussy.
You paused at a weird part in that. They pussy.
I was gonna say I don't mean to use that term because it's, but they really like beat around the bush. That's how I should have said it, which is not much better than pussyfooting, but they.
Holy shit! They definitely.
Sorry, not mom, but sorry everyone else. Yeah, I guess my mom included.
They definitely use the "with great power comes great responsibility" line in this, but they do it a little bit differently. But for me, you get to see it more in this movie, whereas where Tobey Maguire's character, he just goes, "With great power comes great responsibility," and he's like, "All right, I'm going to be a superhero." In this one, you get to see the moment where Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man realizes that he has to use his power for it. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and we also get to see in one of those interactions, it's before he's developed his costume, and he's going after one of the dudes that fits. He literally is profiling, which we know is bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Profiling's bad. Okay. Mm-hmm. But seriously, it is. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's not even okay. And then we get a kind of a chase scene. Basically, Peter's running away from these guys. He picks a fight with the dude that matches the profile of the guy that killed Uncle Ben. And basically he finds out it's not the dude that killed Uncle Ben, so he doesn't let him die.
Yeah.
And then falls through the roof of a raggedy building.
He throws him off the building, catches him, checks his sleeve, realizes there's no tattoo on the wrist, which was the thing. It was the guy who killed him had a star tattoo. He had one of these. Star tattoo. Yeah. And then he goes, "It's your lucky day," and drops him and lets the guy catch his hands on the balcony. But go ahead.
Yeah, and then he falls through the roof of this building and lands in a boxing ring, which it was just a subtle nod, but it's supposed to be, I think it's Fogwell's gym, which is in Hell's Kitchen, northern Hell's Kitchen, almost to Harlem, where Daredevil's Matt Murdock's father.
What was his fighting name? Something the Devil Murdock.
Wasn't it Fighting Jack or Fighting?
No, it was Jack the Devil Murdock. Jack the Devil Murdock. That's what it is. Yeah. And that's where he took the Devil of Harlem and turned it into Daredevil.
Hell's Kitchen, but Devils of Hell Kitchen, but it's okay. You can be wrong twice in this one segment.
What did I just say?
Devil of Harlem.
Oh, whatever. Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, Devil of Harlem.
No, the Defender from Harlem would be Luke Cage. Come on, get it right. But he falls through and he stands up and sees a matador, old school Mexican wrestler. I know they're not called matadors because that's more for bullfighting. But he sees a mask on it and it kind of gives him the inspiration to create a suit. But on the poster it shows for Bonesaw versus Hogan. And Bonesaw, which we got in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the first one, that's who Macho Man Randy Savage plays. "Okay, brother, got you for 3 minutes. Snap into a Slim Jim. Okay." We get that. But in the comics, Bonesaw fights Happy Hogan, who, as we all know, Happy, Jon Favreau, from the Iron Man films and also from Far From Home, and he's been a huge part of the MCU and Disney as a whole. But it's a little nod to that because in the comics, that's an actual fight that ties into Happy Hogan, who used to be a fighter and was a long-term friend of Tony Stark and was down on his luck, so Tony gave him a job and basically like helped a friend out, which is cool.
Yeah.
It was just a cool little nod. It was like a blink and you'll miss it sort of scene, because they focused more on Peter getting inspired to like, well, I should cover my face because these dudes have seen my face, and they literally say, I've seen your face, and he's like, oh shit, even though he could win.
Though that in this movie he literally shows his face to everyone.
Yeah.
Captain Stacy, Gwen Stacy, the kid that he's rescuing from the car, he's like, here, I'll take my mask off, put the mask on, and I'll make you strong.
Dr. Connors.
Could you stop showing your face? Why are you wearing a mask if you're just going to take it off for everybody?
Look at me, I'm Spider-Man. Nope, Peter.
Yeah, peekaboo. Yeah. We also, Dr. Connors, like we said earlier, turns into the Lizard, which is awesome. I thought it was pretty cool. That's an awesome character.
They started with a villain that we hadn't seen yet, which was nice.
Yeah. Well, we saw him in
Not
Spider-Man
as a villain, though.
2
and 3.
Yeah. And 3, yeah. He's got the one arm, but he just hasn't turned into the Lizard yet. But yeah, so we got to see a villain that we haven't seen yet, like Chad said. And he looked pretty cool, except for the only one, and even it's just the flat face.
Flat face and a human tongue.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a lizard.
Yeah.
So like
in the comics and the cartoons, he had like a lizard's face, like elongated face,
and a forked tongue.
Was just like.
And the
he looks like a Ninja Turtle with a tail.
Yeah, but like one thing that really bothered me about that was the fact that he had a human tongue, because like lizards and reptiles taste the air, and I don't want to say that they smell, because they don't actually smell through their tongue, but they taste the air and they get a lot of senses through it. Mm-hmm. And in the comics, like he has like a lizard tongue, he has like a lizard face that's not just like a human face that's just covered in grayscale. Game of Thrones, what up? Oh, you're not that far with Nick. Sorry. But
no, she's seen the Stannis' daughter. She knows what it is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because there is a scene. Yeah. Eat that popsicle. Oh, yeah.
It's just fucking mush now. I sat too long on it.
Get it. Bum 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 bum. Yeah. That's called a TikTok. But there's a scene with Dr. Connors where he's as the lizard, and he's looking for something and notices that there's someone else in the room with him that's hiding. It's Gwen Stacy, in case you're wondering. And he, like, the scene is supposed to portray, like, how a lizard would, like, sense its surroundings by, like, flicking its tongue. And he literally just kind of, like, half-ass sticks his tongue out into the air, and just, it's a human tongue sticking out of a flat lizard face, and he just goes, and you're like, well, after watching that, I should shower. And that was really like the big thing that bothered me about the lizard. Other than that, like, I thought they did a really great job.
Yeah,
they made it realistic. It made sense, and I was okay with a flat face, but flat face and human tongue, I was like, do better. And yeah, and then how does this movie? Well, with how many Spider-Man movies there are, they might as well just be 2-hour-long episodes.
Well, a couple things is, again, Spider-Man unmasks himself in front of Captain Stacy, and he's like, blah blah blah. I have the serum. The thing is heading towards Oscorp. Your daughter is there now. I need to get there. And I mean, the crane scene is sweet. That's like,
it was a cool way to show, like, they got to it quickly as to, like, New York rallying behind Spider-Man.
Yeah, because the cops basically
built
the cops basically build Spider-Man up as a vigilante, a bad guy, and they're like, we're issuing a warrant for Spider-Man. But luckily for Spider-Man, he saved one of the crane operator's kids
A
on the
49er,
bridge.
if you will.
Yeah.
For those of you in unions, you know what a 49er is.
And that was C. Thomas Howell, a.k.a. Ponyboy from The Outsiders.
Oh, and he stayed golden. That's so great. I didn't realize that was him.
Dude, that was the best way you could respond to that. Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, of course I'm going to know The Outsiders, bro.
Fucking, I know, but the way that the saying he stayed golden was funny. Yeah.
Well, yellow cranes.
Ponyboy, yeah.
Working man.
Anyways, so there's like a scene where it's very inspirational because the crane operators, like, what do you call it? Like, swing the cranes out so that Spider-Man can swing off of them.
So he can get to Oscorp faster.
Yeah. It was fucking sweet. It's probably like the best scene in the movie. And yeah, and they duke it out on Oscorp Tower. Captain Stacy shows up. That was a cool scene too.
Pump shotgun in hand.
Yeah.
Just just like unloading into Dr. Connors.
Oh, because what does he say? He's got Peter like, because like I said, Peter shows himself to
Captain that's a minor.
Stacy. Captain Stacy. Oh God, we're gonna get through this. I promise.
We've taken way longer than what we should have.
Yeah. Anyways, the movie ends with Captain Stacy asking Peter to, hey man, I get what you're doing and keep doing it, but
the lizard kills him.
Yeah,
and his dying wish.
Yeah. He tells Peter to please leave my daughter out of it. So Peter promises to not entangle himself with Gwen Stacy anymore.
So he breaks up with her. She gets really sad, and then there's just like a throwaway line at the end of the movie where he's like late to class, and his teacher's like, "Late again." He's like, "It won't happen again. I promise." She's like, "Don't make promises that you can't keep." And he's like, "But those are the best kind."
And Gwen Stacy's like, "Oh."
And she like does her best attempt to ScarJo smirk, and then credits.
I will say though, before we end this, because I did want to talk about this. I think out of all of the Spider-Man movies that we have so far, these movies have the best swinging sequences of all.
Yeah, because we really haven't gotten anything with Tom Holland. We've gotten
we got like
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe a minute. Which is cool. But like this looked really good. And it showed off like he's a teenager. He's having fun with it.
He's a teenager who can dive off of the tallest skyscrapers in New York and have fun. Yeah, exactly.
And just like yell at people like in a comical, witty way.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, how you doing?
Swinging here. I'm swinging here. How's everybody doing?
I'm swinging here. Yeah. Yeah, and we got a little bit of that with Tom Holland, and we'll get into the Tom Holland Spider-Mans. That'll be our next segment, but the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans were the best with it. And even the ending scene in The Amazing Spider-Man, when he's like inside that crane and like bam, bam, and he like stretches his webbing out so that he can fucking just launch himself through like the fucking, that was so dope, dude. I loved it. Yeah.
And that's something, this is not with The Amazing Spider-Man, but the PlayStation game for Spider-Man, you get to do stuff like that. Yeah. And it's so fun. Like, and so like mad. These movies.
I wanted to buy PlayStation just for the Spider-Man game, and my family and friends talked me out of it. And like, get the Xbox and we can play like fucking blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, fine. I have yet to play those Spider-Man games, and I'm so butthurt about it.
They're fun. I've streamed both of them on our Twitch if you guys don't follow it. Quick plug. Okay. But with that, let's get into sponsor 2 because we have wasted a lot of your guys' times, and we understand it's valuable, even though this is something that we are passionate about. And we have more to come. So tell us about our next sponsor.
Sponsor number 2 is Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Listen up.
Yeah. Check it out.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
All right, guys, we are going to jump into The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Why are you laughing? We're going to jump into The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We will try to get through this one a little faster than we did on the last one. There's just too much funny shit, and
this one is definitely a little bit more cheesy. With like the one line, especially from Electro. Spoiler alert: Electro's in this one. But yeah, there's some cheesy one-liners in this. Let's go catch a spider, and they like use like a super electronic, super shitty sounding distortion over his voice.
Yeah. Okay, whatever, fine.
And the fact that they like play the Itsy Bitsy Spider
that part
song.
Was yeah.
And they also do like his Peter Parker's ringtone is like the Spider-Man theme song.
Other than the Tom Holland movie. No, even the Tom Holland movie. The Spider-Man theme song has been in all of the iterations of Spider-Man.
I thought so. I'll have to go back and rewatch the Tom Holland ones because
it's his ringtone.
That was what I thought, but that's in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and he gets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I thought it was the Tom Holland one, but I don't think it is.
I'm gonna rewatch.
They might do like a thematic like symphony version of it, just like as like an ambient background thing.
I'm gonna rewatch them going into next week's episode since we'll be covering them. Spoiler alert,
within the next 2 weeks. Next week we're working it out with working it out with
Suicide Squad comes out,
and we're also working it out with a couple of guests that we're trying to get on the show.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the next few weeks, but
anyways, we meet Max Dillon, played by Jamie Foxx, who
later becomes Electro.
He is a goofball.
He's just a super introvert, super awkward dude.
Psycho.
But also incredibly intelligent when it comes to electrical engineering.
Yeah.
But just has no people skills.
But he's also obsessed with Spider-Man.
Because Spider-Man saved him once and was his friendly neighborhood Spider-Man self.
Yeah.
It's like, you're my eyes and ears out here. And then his comb over gets fucked up and he's like,
lick that.
Licks
his hand.
Because
he fixes his comb over.
Because he can't lick his own hands because he has a mask. So I thought it was super funny.
Yeah.
But then we see like Max like celebrating his birthday, and he like opens up his fridge, and there's a white cake with green and yellow, which is a nod to Electro, like the comic accurate Electro. Because when Max becomes Electro in this film, we get blue and leather.
Yeah.
He basically looks like a blue version of Kate Beckinsale with no hair from Underworld. And it's
not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
He still looked like menacing, but it was not comic accurate.
And we'll get a version of Jamie Foxx's Electro at least. Or no, he's confirmed, right?
Yeah, he's confirmed.
For the new Spider-Man
No Way
Way Home with Tom Holland.
And he shared on his personal like social media where it was him with like a more like accurate headpiece for Electro,
which is like a star.
Yeah, it's cheesy, but it's better than blue.
I didn't mind the blue, honestly. I thought he looked really cool. I just didn't like.
He didn't look like Electro.
You said, the dialogue was not great. Yeah.
He looked cool. Don't get me wrong, but he was not Electro.
Yeah, but he like made more sense to look the way he did. Yeah.
There's more coming. Don't you worry.
Did you order it?
We're gonna talk about this afterwards.
Anyways,
not yet, but yes.
So some notable things that we wanted to talk about. One of the things being Ravencroft Institute is introduced in this movie. This is something that's heavily in the X-Men, not movies, comics, cartoons. Also, what'd you say?
Also, it is referenced for the upcoming Venom 2 film.
That's what it was, yeah.
In Let There Be Carnage, we do get it. It's rumored, kind of confirmed. I don't know if they're going to use the actual like comic name, but Carnage's love interest is called Shriek. And she was a prisoner at Ravencroft. Basically, they take people of abilities.
Yeah.
It was kind of referenced in Deadpool 2 as well.
They also did that with... Because going to what you're saying is that they may not use her comic book Shriek name because in Deadpool, Vanessa, they never did anything with her character. And this always bothered me. But in the comics, Vanessa is a mutant. She's a shapeshifter.
Really?
Really, really.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I forget her comic book accurate name. I'm going to Google it real quick.
Okay.
But, yeah, she's, you talk about whatever you want. I'm going to...
But so we get Ravencroft, which is basically like a supermax prison just outside New York, which... in the comics kind of relates to the Raft as well. But we get... It's a supermax prison where they experiment on people with abilities, basically testing the limits of their abilities. And it's half sinister, half how do we prepare in case this person breaks out. But they basically turn people with abilities into like the strongest version of themselves. And then they break out and then superheroes have to stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Update. Her comic book name is Copycat. And she's a shapeshifter. Much like Mystique, only she basically... I mean, not realistically... she can do the same thing that Mystique does, where she can copy anybody's physical appearance, but she doesn't look like Mystique in her natural form. Yeah, so it would be interesting to see if they do anything with that in Deadpool 3, but that's not what we're talking about. I just wanted to say that because, Anyways, one of the things I wanted to talk about was... in Spider-Man 2, we...
the Amazing Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I feel like, personally, that we get a much more confident Peter Parker. He's not as... He's still like a bumbly Peter Parker, but he's more confident in himself, which I like.
Yeah, and we definitely get that, especially when he is behind the mask.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, for sure.
We get a lot more of that. We also get introduced and heavily teased into the sinister. The sinister. Wow. The
Sinister
Six. Wow, that was super hard for me to say. The Sinister Six. We do get
A lot. There's
we'll
a lot
get
of shit
we'll
throughout
get
the
more
movie.
into it, but we get like Rhino,
Paul Giamatti.
which I was very okay with him being Rhino. I was
Yeah.
okay. They made him like a mechanized suit, which
Mecha
again
suit, yeah.
I was very okay with. But it was basically a rhino-shaped Iron Man suit, which bummed me out. Because the entire premise of Rhino is he gets this suit that enhances his already brute strength. And then he gets fused to it, so he's like stuck in it. And we never saw that.
But in their defense,
Yes.
we could have seen that in the next one had they kept going with it, which we did not get to see, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because they got canceled after this.
Because somehow this film tanked.
I thought it was so good. I was so bummed out.
I enjoyed. There were small details that bothered me, yes, but I enjoyed this movie a lot.
We pick apart every movie that we watch. I mean,
well, yeah.
Even today, Nicole, even today we watched, or not today, yesterday we watched, like I told you, we watched Jungle Cruise, and after it ended, she just turned to me and goes, "So?" And I go, "What? It was good." And she goes, "That's not all you have to say." And I was like, I have things to say. And she goes, "Tell me." And I'm like, "I don't want to." And she's like, "Tell me." And I'm like, this is what I didn't like about it. Like, that's just what we do with these. Like, it was a great movie, but there's problems, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Blue
But we loved
Electro.
it. Yeah.
Also, like Electro as a villain, his lifelong goal is to become pure energy. And like he figured out how to do that by like the halfway mark of this movie.
Yeah.
And he was introduced as like a no one in the opening scene.
We also get introduced to Norman and Harry Osborn in this movie. Dane DeHaan plays Harry. I forget the something Cooper. Oh, what's his name? Fuck.
Something Cooper.
I know his last name's Cooper. But yeah, but this version of the Norman Osborn is like demon dragon version, which we of course, because it got canceled, we don't get to actually see. But they're leading up to in this movie not the same like in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man's. He's enhanced, but he wears a suit. This version of it that they were leading up to is much more Norman Osborn transforms into Green Goblin, which is like a giant like monster, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of bummed me out that we didn't get to see that.
Yeah, and we kind of got a little bit of it with Harry because it's like a genetic disorder and he becomes like Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
We still get the glider, we still get like the bombs and like the maniacal psychosis split.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And we get some like a little bit of the transformation mixed with like a mech suit just to kind of like plan it back into like realism.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that. But I would have loved to have seen like full demon Osborn.
Yeah. But spoiler alert, we're going to say that 2 times and then we're going to continue talking. So if you haven't logged out by now, here you go.
Or if you haven't seen this movie since 9 years ago.
There's a ton of foreshadowing. If you're a comic book fan, you know that Gwen Stacy does not survive.
Well, it depends on your comic arc, but the traditional one is she dead.
Yeah.
Like
she
OMG
dies.
dead. Like so dead.
Like DED dead.
Just dead.
So there's a ton of foreshadowing in this movie where After the promise that Peter made to Captain Stacy in the first movie, we see it basically right away. You see Captain Stacy every time Peter is in like a dangerous situation that Gwen is involved in, whether he's on the phone with her or something like that. You see Captain Stacy's kind of there, like Peter sees him. Um, and yeah, so like we said, spoiler alert, Gwen dies at the
So
end of
dead.
this movie.
She dies hard, like harder than Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it's in the comics. So this is how it differs in the comics, and we can kind of whatever. But in the comics, when Goblin basically throws her off of a building, Spider-Man goes to catch her, hits her with the web in the back, or like catches her around her waist, basically. And when he pulls up to keep her from hitting the ground, he breaks her back and she dies. How does that differ from the movie, Chad?
Well, Goblin throws her down like a clock tower, and Spider-Man tries to catch her with his web around the waist again. He does catch her, but it's just his web stretches just enough to like kind of like break the fall, and she still hits the ground and dies.
Yeah. Yeah. He catches her, the web stretches, and she goes, and then bounces back up, and it kind of hangs in the air.
Straight on,
dead.
just yeeted into the ground.
Dead. Yeah.
Just
very dead. D-E-D,
OMG dead.
Yeah. I didn't mean to laugh at that. I don't know why I laughed at that.
It was in the movie. They make it very emotional. They make it very dramatic.
It is sad.
As
it's
it should
sad.
be, because in the comics it was as well. But
and this is also a huge reason that Peter, again, like we mentioned in the when we were talking about the first one, Peter shows his face to fucking everybody. Like, and this is the reason why that he stops telling people that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, is because the love of his life got murdered because of it. So that's why, I mean, eventually Mary Jane does find out, obviously, but
which I did appreciate that we did not see Mary Jane in this film.
Yeah,
there was rumors she was supposed to, but I'm glad that they cut it.
Scenes with Mary Jane.
Yeah, it was supposed to be
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
Oh, she's fucking engaged to Aaron Rodgers now. Ugh. To both of them.
I mean, good for them, I guess, but like,
yeah,
do better.
Just go be shitty people together. Whatever.
Make another Divergent movie. And not get to the Super Bowl.
We almost forgot to mention this. The big reveal in the first Spider-Man movie, the Amazing Spider-Man movie, is the question of like, they show Peter's parents, and there's like this big secretive thing. That's why they left him, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, we get to see what that is. Basically, the serum that his parents developed became like the Oscorp, right? They wanted it to like weaponize it, and his parents didn't know. They knew that they were going to get killed for it, so they left Peter. But what they did was they injected Peter.
Well, they didn't inject him. They used their own DNA as the base DNA for the serum.
Yeah.
But because of that, he shares that DNA.
Yeah. Which is why he turns into Spider-Man. Because otherwise, any person could go get bit by the same spider and become Spider-Man. So you need both which is a more comic accurate, you need both the DNA and the spider to make that happen.
So what you're saying is you need 1 + 1 to equal the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No, but that was very cool.
It was a cool scene.
It just put more into it. You know, it just developed so much more. I know we didn't take as much time on this film because
We took too long on the first one.
But both these movies are great, despite the things that we've said negatively about these. Like, these are some of the best Spider-Man movies out there.
Even if we found the perfect movie that we both love,
we're still going to talk shit.
We're going to talk shit about it. We're going to find the holes in it.
Just wait until we take a 22-week long series to talk about the entire MCU timeline. We will talk shit about every single movie.
That would be fun. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, no.
These movies are fucking awesome. Arguably the best Spider-Man movies out there, I think, honestly.
Oh, no, you froze. This is not bueno.
Am I freezing?
Yeah, you're still... you might be... Oh, you froze for a second. So, these movies are fantastic.
Yeah, go watch them if you haven't.
They're great. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to close out this episode.
But before we do, we have a few things we want to say to you guys.
Yeah. First and foremost, we have our Patreon page that's out there. If you guys like what we're doing, you want to support us on a monthly basis, it just helps us increase what we give away every month on our live streams, as well as it helps us, just continue to grow and produce more and more content for you guys. That's at patreon.com/allthingsnerdpodcast. And also from there, we have our new web store. It's just a couple of weeks old now. It's like a week and a half old. The link is in the bio below. Check it out. Pick up some merch. There's so much new stuff on there that we did not have before. We went from like 4 items to almost 50. Yeah. And we're really excited about it. And we've already gotten some good feedback from it. People seem to like it. So, we're really stoked. There's a lot of variety for you guys. So check it out. All of it just helps us bring this to you guys every week, because right now we still we're not making money off this. Everything that we make, we put right back into the podcast.
Yep.
And giveaways and everything like that. So
we thank you guys. We love you guys. This is awesome. Thank you for tuning in. And we want to keep doing it as long as we can.
Yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions on what we should break down next, let us know. Hit us up on social media. Send us an email. Whatever works best for you.
No,
just let us know. We want to do it. So, with that being said, go ahead, Jake.
This has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.